Good evening, kiddies. Dr. Freedom here with you. Time for some Doctor Who news. News from in and around the universe. Well, you know the rest. It might affect you. Matter of fact, it could, because I'm hearing more and more from various sources online about the possibility of a truncated series going on next year for Series 10. But like I said, the latest word is, and in case you haven't been tuning in before, we're there right now. I'm hearing more and more about 6 episodes and a Christmas special. Now, keep in mind, this is a lot better than 1989 to 1996, where you got one movie, and then 2015, where for you or 2005. I mean, sorry, 2005 before you got a new series. So a short series is a lot better than no series. Okay, so keep that in mind before you run screaming into the streets, grabbing your shotguns, your pitchforks, and your pointy sticks, and heading towards Rothlock to throw spitballs at poor Stephen Moffat as he tries to go to work. So don't panic as yet, okay? More details as they're available, and then we'll go into that when we have some more hard facts on the matter. But first off, we got a cute little article. Let's start right here on the Metro. All right. Bam, bam, biggity, bam. Here we go. All right. Goodbye, Sonic Screwdriver. Hello, Sonic Shades. Okay, from what they're basically saying, they give you a nice little history of the Sonic Screwdriver here. All the way back to its first use in 68's Fury from the Deep. But I could have sworn I had a different one before that. But then they go on to a little bit more history, including, when it was whacked by, the Pteroleptals back in what he called the Fifth Doctor era, which was the Visitation. And then you didn't see a Sonic Screwdriver again until the 1996 television movie. And even then, the funny part is, if you notice in the one scene, McCoy is holding the Sonic Screwdriver by the wrong end when he seals the Master into his little box, or the Master's goo, or whatever you want to call that stuff. All right, so if you're interested in this little nice little thing, plus it comes with a bunch of clever little gifts, here you go. Okay. Peter Capaldi tells the BBC he cannot make more episodes per year. Now, this is interesting because, when did they ask him to do this? But okay, the leading actor says the crew is tired and the quality of the show would suffer if they shot 2 more series in 1 year. Now, Peter Capaldi has turned down BBC requests to try and make more Doctor Who episodes per year, saying it would cause casualties. All right, at the time, Lord 57 skirted around questions about his future on the show. Don't worry about that. As far as I know, he is going to be around for Series 10. And please, the whole thing about what's his name, Richard Madden and all that, so far is rumor. Because it's kind of interesting that they picked the name Richard Madden, considering he was dating Jenna Coleman for how long. So, interesting choice of quote-unquote future doctors in that so-called rumor. But once again, keep your eyes, your ears, and your minds open. We'll find out come Christmas just what's going on with that. But I don't think he's leaving yet. Okay. We've been going since January 6th, and the crew, who are wonderful, are exhausted, he admitted. There reaches a point where you can't drive people any harder, and we do the best we can to produce our show to an immensely high quality. If you did it all year round, there would be casualties, and one of the casualties would be the quality of the show. It's absolutely vital that we have Steve Moffat working on it and having a vision on the whole thing. He only has so much energy. I've only got so much energy. You want people running on all cylinders, so it's not going to happen. Now, what happens is remember back when we got 13 episodes in a Christmas special every year? But I'm not going to complain with only 12. But then again, I'm not going to complain if we only get 6 for next year. Some Who is better than no Who. So keep that in mind. All right. But the thing is, the one rumor I keep hearing, all right, is great. He goes, all right, Moffat said apparently, it sounds calm and planned, but it's a rolling crisis, and we're coping with whatever nonsense we've lined up for ourselves. If you ever get a chance, go back and take a look at the type of shooting schedule they had for the first 2 Doctors, up until Patrick Troughton and the crew, and I think it was Patrick Troughton and Fraser Hines, and I think it was Wendy Padbury finally just said enough is enough, that we want more holiday time because of the shooting schedule was that grueling. They were filming all year round, and that's what I think he's trying to get at. You can get 12 great quality episodes in a Christmas special, or you can try to go like an American production and yank out 22, but then you're going to have people going, to the sick bay more and more often. Either they're going to be banging their heads into a wall until their brains go flying out, trying to keep up with that type of schedule. I think that's what he's alluding to. But I better not, please don't tell me they're going to try to use the lame excuse that Moffat can't do 2 shows in 1 year, because that's another rumor I'm hearing floating around, that next year's quote unquote truncated season is allegedly due to Moffat having to perform all his work duties. I have no confirmation on that. I'm really hoping that's not the sad, silly excuse they're going to use. But that's a whole nother ball of wax. Let's keep moving. Here's the good news. Magician's Apprentice official rating. Okay, Magician's Apprentice has an official consolidated 7-day rating of now officially 6.54 million viewers. Now, keep in mind, there's a little more coming to that. The rating issued by of course, the BRARB, and includes all those who watched the program within 1 week. Now, the final rating is slightly down from last year, with the majority of the season rated around 6.9 million viewers. Also, this rating puts Doctor Who at 13th most watched program that week on the UK, and that's all of UK television, and the 4th most watched program on BBC One. So, see, it didn't fare that badly. It wasn't as high as I'd like it to have been, but come on, this is not a horrendous disaster that everybody was making it out to be. Now, considering, look at the competition, plus it was going against a freaking Rugby World Cup. All right. These figures, of course, do not include those who watched on the BBC iPlayer. And from what I'm hearing, the iPlayer was so jammed, and even iTunes, all that people were having trouble getting the episode. So those figures are going to be astounding. And also, don't forget, The Magician's Apprentice had over 1.3 million download requests in the week following transmission on the BBC iPlayer. So you throw that in, and with the new rating system that's coming up, they will throw that in. All right. Plus, I'm hearing they had over, like, what was it, 1 million something viewers on the re-air. You throw all that together, you're looking at 8-point-something million people watched that episode that week. That's just loose and fast math, okay? So add those numbers up for yourself and tell me how bad this episode really was and how the show is going to die. It's going downhill. Okay. Now, and here's the overnight ratings for The Witch is Familiar. It came in at 541,000 viewers, made it the 2nd highest rating ABC drama of the day and the 8th highest rating program of the day overall. That is not too bad. I think that was a little bit higher last week, but still. Once again, ABC kicking butt. So, all right. Witch is Familiar had an AI of 83. Like I said, that's pretty good. If you stay in the 80s and up, I don't get a complaint. Also, the feature-length version of The Magician's Apprentice, Which is Familiar, had an audience of 0.64 million viewers on the BBC One Sunday afternoon, and had a 6.4% of the share of the audience. And remember, this was a repeat of episodes 1 and 2. But here it says right here, once again, the program was once more up against that freaking rugby on ITV, which, when you're considering you had Scotland versus USA going on, a lot of sports fans are going to tune over to that, so who the hell thought it was a bright idea to air Doctor Who versus the freaking Rugby Cup? They should be taken out in the street and smacked around. Well, no, this kitty slaps. But you dummy, you stupid idiot. Okay, moving on. Doctor Who, Russell T. Davies talks to Master. This is just like a little short video thing here. He goes, Smoke Radio got together with former Doctor Who showrunner Russell T. Davies to have a brief chat about Doctor Who, his latest series, Cucumber, and television in general. And you can listen to this interview below right here. Here it is. Boo. See, just 2.5 minutes long. I was just double checking the length. I think I listened to it earlier on the day. I just can't remember for sure. Okay, so check that out. Okay, Doctor Who Series 9, and this is 10 quotes from the upcoming episode, Under the Lake. Here we go. None of you have chosen anonymous or selfish lives. I lift my sunglasses there and most of my dignity. Hello, sailors. They wouldn't say boo to a goose, more likely give the goose their car keys and bank details. I've never actually met a proper ghost. It was my fault. I should have known that you didn't live in Aberdeen. Splinter of time in the skin, unnatural. She wants to get away from them. There's only room for one, me. You're from Unit, and what's death like? Does it hurt? Do you still get hungry? Do you miss being alive? Okay, so those are just 10 quotes, not really spoilery, okay? So don't worry about that. We don't even know what context. We don't know who's saying them or anything like that. Okay, Sean Pertwee, once again, basically the whole thing of this interview, it's a nice interview with him, but then once again, they start poking into, would he play the, would he play his father on the on the show. It would be the third Doctor. And the thing is, he goes, no. He goes, the thing is, I sincerely hope that I don't echo Alfred's relationship with his son, but it's totally dysfunctional, blah, blah, blah. All right, sorry, I skipped over the part I wanted. Okay, here it is. He goes, I've never been asked to play him, basically, but, I think my father would probably have a heart attack from laughing so much. The notion of me playing him, I think he'd find that trifling amusing. I wouldn't, I'd be, he goes, listen, very large shoes to fill. That's all I'm going to say. He was fantastic. Now, the thing is, in previous interviews over the last couple decades, he even said that he didn't want A, to play his father's role, and B, because he kind of had a thing against Doctor Who for a while, because he felt that that was the program that had taken his father away from him for a great deal of time when he was younger. And that's why he kind of didn't identify with it. Okay, at least that's what I remember, right? Okay, this is just a cute little video of gameplay on Lego Dimensions with Batman, Gandalf, and what's her name? I don't even remember. Going up against the Weeping Angels. So it's like about 5 or 6 minutes long, but you'll get a kick out if you're a Doctor Who fan. Okay. All right, Radio Times. Sorry about this, all darn. What are you doing? You slow bugger. Come on, speed up. You can do better than that. Well, we'll come back to that one, apparently. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, wait. Is it going to work? Come on. Come here. Come to daddy. Ah! See, I forgot to reload the article because I had to do a restart. Having a little bit of trouble with the Zoom program. All right, let's see if this one loads any faster. Okay, here we go. Okay, 10 Christmas specials. The limited time box. You remember that box office set where they're going to have all the Christmas specials of Doctor Who up to last Christmas? Well, boom. This is where you can pre-order it. £28.99. And like I said, this is supposed to have all the Christmas specials up to it, including last Christmas. Okay, here we go. Dr. Who's Michelle Gomez wants a Missy spinoff, but she needs your help. And it's just a cute little thing of Michelle Gomez when she did her Twitter Q&A. So if you want to go check this out, here it is. She's a very, very amusing lady. Okay, so that's all I got for today. So that's it. Okay, so once again, don't panic yet about there being a truncated season next year. Still looking to hear more info on that before we go really, really crazy. Okay, so don't go screaming and pulling out your hair, and banging your head against the wall till your brain splash out like a bad zombie movie. Just hang in there, hang tight, and everything will be fine. All right. Okay, but speaking of hanging there, hanging tight, I'm gonna get on out of here. So everybody, take care. Have a great night. See you on the flip side.